In today's video, we're going to be seeing videos captured in the woods that we would have never gotten the chance to see. Sort of like a lion paying some unsuspecting campers a visit at night, or this giant brown bear trying to pull off a magic trick through a 14-inch crawl space. But first, let's see how this great horned owl hunts its prey while maintaining its poise. Owl captures a rabbit. It is common to see predators hunting at night, especially ones captured on trail cameras. However, what's not so common is to see most winged creatures go for a hunt very low to the ground. This great horned owl was steadily surveying the nearby area for a quick meal, and it was definitely a fast one as it caught a rabbit and constricted it to the ground. It didn't want to make a ton of noise because other predators could come for it or its meal, so the owl opted to slowly kill the rabbit with its claws rather than immediately going at it with its beak. Other predators, like I said, could be nearby and would want to take away its catch, so the smart little owl took its sweet time having a quiet meal. Deer and raccoons. This deer has some very interesting friends when it's time for dinner. Unlike most deer who got around in herds of their own species, this one frequently hangs out with dozens of raccoons. Known as one of the most annoying opportunistic rascals by many, raccoons aren't afraid of anything. They're not even afraid of a deer that's 10 times their size. Knowing that this area is given grain for feeding frequently, they would appear in the evenings to grab a quick snack. Rather than just trying to make unusual friends, this buck is actually trying to make sure that these raccoons stay in line and don't go too far. Whenever they get greedy and get too close to him, the buck would use its sharp antlers to fight back. Antlers like these might not look like much, but they are known to cause very deep wounds to animals who get caught on them. Bear versus bike. This footage was caught by a drone filming the area of the forest at the time, and one could only guess how terrifying the situation was for this biker. The Montana Knife Company here in Whitefish, where the incident occurred, showed this video to the public as a reminder to all bikers to always bring safety gear. Thankfully though, the biker has been confirmed to be safe and unharmed, if a little traumatized. Beaver repairs a dam. Beavers are the natural-born lumberjacks of the animal kingdom, and they're quite good at their job. In this trail camp set up by locals, they wanted to confirm if the cause of all the branches building up by the river was caused by these animals. They would frequently have to clear out the branches to allow water to run freely again down the stream. Their suspicions were confirmed when they spotted this lone beaver noticing the breach in its work and began to repair the dam one branch at a time. With amazing patience and expert placement, this little guy managed to block the water flow once again within a single night. Beavers naturally do this for their own protection because by blocking the water from flowing, they create a deeper pool of water that keeps them safe from predators. The locals in this town will just have to keep up with this hard worker. Amazon short-eared dog. Only the size of a fox, the Amazon rainforest is a very rare and secretive native. That being the Amazon short-eared dog, which is so rarely seen on camera that even dangerous creatures like jaguars are more likely to get covered. A conservation scientist set up a trail camera near a cadaver of another animal, hoping to catch vultures on camera. Pleasantly surprised though, the scientist ended up seeing the short-eared dog instead. It was studying the cadaver and approached it with caution. They have incredible senses of smell and are better than any trained hound dog on police forces, and they can quickly detect any devices that might emit the smell of humans. This was why it wasn't long after that the dog probably caught onto the nearby GoPro and made its silent escape. Lions stalking a camp. Admittedly, these campers probably had the longest life flashbacks of their lives when a pair of lions made their way into their campsite in the middle of the night. They were nowhere near prepared, and one of them even had their tent zipper open at the time. We're not sure if it was a smart move or they were just really lucky whenever one person kept opening the zipper to take a peek outside. At one point in the footage, the lion was already aggressively tugging at the tent where a noisy camper was. Although intrigued by the shouting, the lion was also cautious of its actions, perhaps because the camp was an unfamiliar sight in the forest. It took a good amount of time before the lions finally lost interest. As soon as the lions moved back and away from the frame, the campers got out and quickly made an escape to their cars. Bear fight. Caught on 3 different trail cams in the area, an intense bear fight erupted in this early afternoon when the two couldn't get along living within the same territory. Bears are easily one of the most dangerous animals on the planet, and unlike other dangerous animals, an encounter with a bear will almost always be fatal. But in this case, it's double the trouble as these bears recorded live are aggressively trying to get one out of their land. Brown bears are arguably the most dangerous among their subspecies. Over 3.5 times more dangerous than a polar bear and a whopping 21 times more dangerous than a black bear. Granted, they seldom attack humans on sight, but this will always depend on their temperament, whether they feel threatened or surprised. So it's going to be pretty unbearable to get caught in between these already angry bears. See what I did there? Okay. Ghost Girl. Taken from a trail camera in the woods off Route 74 in Cambridge, this photo of a little girl has taken the whole city by storm and instantly became viral on social media. Police in the area have been trying to identify who this young girl playing in the middle of the woods was, but haven't received any reports yet. The chief officer has never heard or seen anything like this before, explaining that the area had cameras set up everywhere to make sure that the general population wouldn't be able to access it. The officers who examined the photo say that it is 100% real and they had every intention to contact the girl's family, but as soon as nobody came forward with any clues, theories began to spiral. White deer. Over at the Seneca Army Depot that hosts a variety of wildlife, they've set up trail cams to capture moments of one of the rarest kinds of deer on the planet. This would be the depot's famous white deer that are being protected and preserved here, as their total number is only around 90. An interesting fact about them, though, is that they're actually not albino as many might assume. Instead, they are leucistic, which means that their bodies have extremely reduced pigmentation and make them appear snowy white. But this normally doesn't affect eyes, which explains why these deers have the normal eyes of a brown deer. Bigfoot. Over half a century has passed since two former rodeo men went into the woods to leave a trail camera and come back bringing one of the most distinctive and strongest video evidence ever of the mythical ape, Bigfoot. Although skeptics do dismiss the film to be that of a man walking around in an ape suit, the anatomical structure of the creature walking around would not match that of an ordinary human being. Professors of anatomy and anthropology affirm and identify certain muscle mass and movements in the video that can't be seen in humans. Heck, in certain parts of the clip, Bigfoot would lift its entire heel off the ground. The reason that's so prevalent is because the forefoot remains steady on the surface, and all this does match the footprints taken from the scene as well. But whether or not Bigfoot is real, the whole world continues to wait for answers. Biggest black bear. The Voyager's Wolf Project has been using trail cameras for the last 7 years to capture and study wolves as closely as possible. However, it's not uncommon to be able to see other animals pass through, especially since they have roughly over 200 cameras all around the woods. They were absolutely astonished to see this absolute unit walk past one of their cameras one night, though. The team was sad that they only managed to capture it once, while their other cameras only caught smaller black bears from time to time. They do appreciate the bear's massive curves and figure, and said that it worked hard for that body. Flying orbs of light. Especially in the evenings, it's quite common to capture dust and reflective surfaces on camera. Most of the time we just brush it off as nothing, though. For the homeowner living right next to the woods, though, she caught something a little too unnatural. 6 linked spears began traveling back and forth in a straight line together. Sometimes the orbs grow in size, or sometimes expand the links further away while moving in a strange manner. The camera that caught this moment was used to capture any local wildlife that might break into her property, but the homeowner explains how this was the first time she'd ever seen anything like this. She since surrendered her footage to the police for investigation. Bear squeezes through crawl space. Bears enjoy hanging out in caves and little hidey holes, but just how little can these get when you're dealing with a 500-pound brown bear? Well, in Lake Tahoe, California, B33, the resident bear friend spends a lot of evenings and early mornings trying to squeeze himself through a crawl space of this building. Tugi Schlich, a wildlife photographer, was the one who set up all this recording equipment in the area. A lot of local folks always ask how this massive bear can fit in and out of a 14 by 14 inch crawl space like that, and Schlich always responds by saying, it takes 2 videos for him to get out, then at least another 3 videos to get back in. Needless to say, not a quick process. King of Madagascar. No, it's not King Julian, but when you think about top apex predators, most people would probably imagine lions, bears, and other large dangerous creatures, or moored from Madagascar as well. But over at the island of Madagascar, the king is a mysterious carnivore called the Fusa. Although they look like a mix of a long-tailed monkey and a cat, they're actually related to neither. Measuring only 31 inches long plus another 27 inches for their tails, they are the largest carnivores on the entire island. Many of Madagascar's animals are unique and sought after by scientists, but the fossa is so mysterious that it always evades humans that are close by. This is why it's only through these strategically placed trail cameras that we're able to witness them up close. Alien figure walking by the road. This short 30-second video taken from Jharkhand, India has gone viral recently because it catches this strange human-like figure strolling down the dye of the road in the dark without any kind of light. The video was taken by some bikers who were going through a secluded road in the area and decided to hold on to a camera just in case something would happen. But no one in the group expected to see this figure walking around in a weird posture, looking foreign and alien-like. Some people who saw the video said that it might be a ghost, but others believe that it was too present and lifelike to be one. The bikers can be heard in the video discussing what this was supposed to be, but no one can really verify if the video was even true or just some prank. Clown on a bridge. A pair of hikers were running around a trail early in the morning when one of them spots a bizarre figure in the distance. Slowly walking across this narrow suspension bridge, there was what appeared to be a man in a clown costume. Nothing too terrifying or sinister at first, but the hikers were having none of this and tried calling out to the man. Mind you, it was still 7:30 in the morning and they couldn't understand why someone would be loitering around the neighborhood like this. The Jersey Devil. In the small state of New Jersey, they have two rules. 1, don't look at the speed limit, and 2, believe in the Jersey Devil. Since the mid-1700s, the tale of the Jersey Devil is a legend at par with its other cryptid friends, Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. It's known to roam around the southern areas of New Jersey, and it's reported to look like a goat or horse with elongated limbs and is most of the time depicted to have bat-like wings. In the evenings, when you would hear strange animal-like screams, the locals would attribute it to the Jersey Devil. Because of how quickly it's said to move, it's difficult to capture it on camera. However, despite the numerous claimed sightings, the Jersey Devil has never been reported to have done any physical harm to humans. Skeptics will be skeptics, but this otherwise friendly, weird-looking creature isn't all too bad. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's best pick is footage capturing one of the most famous known creatures of myth around the world. The Wendigo. The cryptid that takes the cake when it comes to existing in varying different countries and cultures is the elusive Wendigo. They're said to be malevolent spirits with human-like features, but with extended and unnatural extremities. Often known to copy the sound of humans to lure anyone towards them, they're caught on cameras most of the time with only the sound of them screaming in a forest. Although most sounding like a person calling for help, there's still that level of unease that makes anyone run to the other way instead. Many tribes and secluded villages in the world often attribute unexplained disappearances to Wendigos, though often called something different depending on where it is. And although there are several depictions of this scary creature, there's only one thing that's for sure. If you ever hear unnatural screams in a secluded area, start running. Flying child. This man in Russia was trying to walk his dog Tarzan when he witnessed a very strange phenomenon. It was a good thing he was recording his dog at the time, so he managed to capture the whole thing as they traveled across the woods though. A young girl was seen floating up in the air while her mother looked at her closely from the ground. It almost seemed like the young girl was practicing her flight until she was disturbed by Tarzan's loud barking. This immediately alarmed the mother and child, and the man even panicked in fear when he knew that he was spotted. The mother grabbed her child and they made a run for it deeper into the forest. Since then, the video has garnered millions of views and has been shared all over the internet, but until today really, the original posters still would not clarify if this was simply staged or not. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Stairs in the forest. There's always something chilling and unusual about finding random items in the middle of the woods that just doesn't make sense. In recent years, there have been stories about how there always will be staircases in the middle of a forest with no buildings or structures attached to it. They're simply isolated and stand alone in varying shapes, sizes, and conditions. Pictures and stories of these stairs have since gone all over the internet and are freaking people out. Countless people go missing in the US national parks alone, and a lot of people, including park rangers, have peculiar stories to share that link some disappearances to these bizarre staircases. According to local legends regarding warnings given by old-time park rangers, you must never approach these stairs and must never step foot on them. Whether these are portals to another world or structures left by creatures we don't want to mess with, it's better to be safe rather than sorry. See you all next time.